Hello friends, and welcome to another journaling video. Today you're going to be joining me for the day as I'm going to be spending the whole day journaling, and the reason behind that is because in my planner I have a little page where I kind of record all the things that I want to add into my journal, and let's just say the list is getting a little bit long and I haven't added anything in, so I feel like I need to catch up on some journaling because I have some busy days ahead of me, so I'm gonna have even more to journal about. So yeah, we're gonna be trying to get some more spreads done in here, so join me with a cozy day of journaling and let me know in the comments if you are journaling along with me or what you're doing whilst watching. And if you're not journaling, then maybe you should grab your journal and join me for the day of journaling. So if you enjoy, make sure to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future videos, and let's just get started. So welcome to our first journal session, and I'm basically going to be doing a load of memory keeping today because I just have so much to catch up on. Although at the end there is a random journal spread that popped into my head throughout the day, so apparently all this journaling wasn't enough for one day. I needed to add even more into the mix, but what can I say? I love journaling. So this spread was all about a day in our local city, which is Nottingham, with my best friend. She basically messaged me and was like, hey, I'm going to Hobbycraft, do you want to come along? And I was like, yeah. So I got the train to Nottingham by myself, which is something that doesn't happen very often because I'm quite an anxious girly. So I was very proud of myself for doing that in the first place. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to document this, because we got to celebrate the small wins. And it was absolutely fine getting the train. So I went and met her, and then we headed to Hobbycraft first of all. Surprisingly, we didn't really buy anything. I bought I think one thing, and then we went to another shop before going back into the city, where we of course had to go to the best shop ever, which is at Sostre Green. And if you have a Sostre Green near you or have been able to visit one, then you can definitely understand why. So I kept the receipt from my purchases because I did buy plenty of things from there, and I am actually using the paper and washi tape that I bought from Sostre Green, so I felt like it was very fitting for the journal spread. I'm also going to be doing most of my journal spreads over one individual page, so instead of doing a double page spread, because I had quite a lot to do, I decided to do them as kind of small spreads because there isn't a ton I want to write about each one, so I didn't need a great deal of space. And I actually really like how they all kind of come together at the end, because surprisingly enough, I didn't even think about how the two spreads would work together, but they do naturally just work. But I guess you'll have to wait and see with that one. So I'm just using some of these stickers that I've had forever, and I just figured they would go really nicely with the patterned paper and the colours that I'd used. So they just kind of fit on there quite nicely. And then I use my letter stickers to do the title, and I really like how this one came out. I think it turned out pretty cute. I also forgot to record myself writing, but don't worry, there's plenty of that in the future clips. Our next spread, which is going to be Alongside our first one is all about Mother's Day. It was Mother's Day, I think last week or the week before in the UK, and I basically went out for some food with my mum and my nonna. We took her to her favourite restaurant, and it just happened to be a Chinese restaurant, and I love Chinese food, so I was very happy about that. And again, I'm using some more of the new paper from Saucer Green because they're just really nice, like colourful floral pieces, and because I'm only using half a page, I don't need like a ton of paper, and the size of the paper pad is kind of like an origami size, so yeah, it just kind of fit quite nicely with the size and the layout of the spread. I'm also using these really cute like purpley floral stickers, which I got in one of my recent Journal Say hauls, so if you want to see all those goodies, you should go back and watch that video. And then I decided to stick down a Polaroid, which I had taken on my photo printer, so this one wasn't taken at the restaurant, it was taken on a phone and then printed later on. But where possible, I do like to try and add some really cute pictures to my journal because it just helps alongside all of the memory keeping, and it will help rejig my memory in the future. So this happened, I kind of like forgotten about this day because this was one of the spreads that had been written in my journal for a while, so I was kind of not sure exactly what to write other than obviously we went for the meal. So I just started using these stickers and just kind of covering them over the page to try and take some of the blank space up so that when I came to do my written journaling, I didn't have a lot of space to write and I didn't have to try and think back to everything that happened. So I just focused on the small details that I could remember, and then that meant that I get to decorate a whole ton more on the journal spread, which is always a bonus. It was also nice to actually use these stickers because I'd put them in a really weird spot in my like sticker folders and I totally forgot I had them. So it was good that I went through and looked through my sticker folders to kind of get some inspiration for this spread. And yeah, I find that's really good when I'm not exactly sure how to decorate something. I will kind of just look through all of my stationery and see what gives me inspiration, and these stickers are what gave me inspiration this time. I also decided to use these really cute gold letter stickers, which are also from Journal Say, and I do have an affiliate code which is in my description below if you want to use it, and you can get 8% off. I am doing my written journaling here alongside my very cozy journaling candle, which I absolutely love, and I love using it whilst I'm journaling as well. So because of all of the journaling, I decided to go and get some coffee with my boyfriend, and we got some brunch too. It's kind of like my favourite cafe here in our village. It's just a really cute place and they have like different things every single day. And whenever my pen pals come over to meet me, I always take them there because it's just such a nice place. So we sat outside, it was really nice and sunny. And then, of course, when I got home, I decided that I had to journal about it. So that is essentially what this spread is going to be about. And I wanted to try and find some coffee stickers, which I didn't really have. I mean, I make some myself, but I was trying to use up my own stationery hoard. And I found this sticker sheet, which is kind of like a bookshop kind of theme, and the cafe does have loads of like really old vintage books inside as part of the decoration. So I just figured I would use it because it's been in my stash for a very long time and I was just wanting to use up some old stationery. And I've also been using lots of these washi tapes lately because I added the little clip onto them so that I would try and start to use up my washi tape samples, because I have so many of them, because obviously pen pals send me them, and when people send me PO box mail they send me washi tape samples too, which I love receiving because it just gives me lots of different options other than the things I already own. So that is why I wanted to use that. And then we kind of forgot to take a picture whilst we were out for brunch. That was my plan so that I could put it in my journal. But yeah, we totally forgot. So I got my Polaroid camera, which has like 2 pictures left, and when we got home I just kind of forced him to take a picture on my Polaroid. And the reason why it's covered up is because the picture is terrible, and I'm more than happy for it to go in my journal. It's kind of like a funny memory, I guess, but the internet does not need to see that. So yeah, that is why the picture is all covered up. But I also use these really cute letters to do the title, and then added the date as well. And then I just ended up doing all of my written journaling after. I didn't have much space left over because all I was really going to say is where we went and what we had to eat. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of space, but it meant I could stick down a ton of stickers and finally get some used up. This spread is the one that kind of popped into my head throughout the day. So I'm essentially experimenting with printing some different leaves. I really wanted to do some more printing into my journal. So yeah, this was just kind of the perfect time. And I'm just kind of testing the system that I had in my head of how I was going to do it. And it does end up working. So basically you just get a piece of paper or whatever you want to use as just something that's going to get destroyed essentially, and then you use your stamp pad to stamp on top of the leaf, or you could, I guess, also paint on it, whatever materials you have. And then you just take the second sheet of paper, place it over the top, and then just press down wherever possible to just try and get a clean print. I think in the future I am going to do this straight into my journal, but for today, because I had already made all the prints onto this really nice vintage paper and they'd actually shown up really nicely, I figured I may as well cut those out and stick them in my journal instead. But yeah, I definitely want to try it in the future, printing straight onto my journal. Maybe that's something I could do whilst out journaling, I don't know. But that's just an idea that kind of popped into my head. So you should definitely try this. It was such an easy technique and I feel like it just looks really nice. I feel like you could definitely print on top of smaller pieces and send them or use them as journaling cards, or you could print onto some memos. The limits are kind of endless with it. So for me to create a spread with this, I also was craving using some gouache and just kind of really wanted to just play around with the materials. I had no real goal, no idea really what I was doing. I just wanted to create a really nice abstract piece that would essentially be the background of the spread, and I wanted it to be really textured and just be like a nice mixed media piece. So I ended up just dabbing loads of random paints onto this piece of paper, and then I started painting the leaves and printing those. And that does work too, just not as well as obviously pushing down the paper on top. And here is the finished piece. It's very messy, it's very random, but obviously there's going to be things stuck on top of it, and it was more the enjoyment of the piece. It was very therapeutic to do. So now I'm just going to cut out the printed pieces and stick them on top of the spread, just as a little documentation of the little art inspiration I had this afternoon. So this spread is a bit of a random one in my journal, but it was very, very fun to create, and I feel like it was just a really nice time. And I'm actually surprised that I was still wanting to journal at this point after doing so many journal spreads. But I guess maybe I was craving this sort of journaling, which had not really any intentions. I didn't have to think too hard. It was more about the process rather than the final piece. And yeah, if you do anything similar or give it a go, or have any tips for me how I can improve the prints if you have done something before, then of course let me know in the comments, because I would love to have some more advice or know if you've had a go at this in the past. And then I'm just sticking down this big piece. It didn't end up covering the whole spread, so I just used some vintage paper just to go around any of the gaps that would be in the spread. But again, my main goal was just to create a nice textured piece in my journal, just something a little bit different, because most of the spreads prior to that were all memory keeping. So yeah, I definitely want to try this again in my journal. And when they're cut out, they just look really nice. And then I'm just finding a layout that works for me, and then I'm going to stick them down onto my journal. I didn't really know if to put anything else. I was thinking maybe I should add some stickers, maybe I should add some washi tape, but then I figured the main focus was just these botanical prints, so I wanted to keep it that way and keep it a very simple spread. What type of journaling do you do in your journal? Because I feel like I do a whole mix. I do my reading journal spreads, travel journaling, memory keeping, art journaling, whatever this kind of journaling is. So yeah, there's just a ton of stuff going on in my journal, and I find that if I just let myself do whatever I want to, it's just a much more fun experience, and I don't have to hold myself back if I ever want to make something in my journal. And now these will be forever documented here, and I'm gonna definitely do this again, maybe with some flowers from my garden at the end of summer once they're all slowly dying away. So here are all the finished spreads. I had so much fun doing this one. It was kind of like spontaneous. It wasn't in my plans to make it, but I went and sat outside in the garden, and yeah, it just kind of popped into my head. So it was a lot of fun printing these, and it's actually so easy to do. So it's something you could definitely do at home as well. And then I just kind of created this like textured piece behind it just to kind of make it more of like a mixed media piece. And yeah, it was just really fun to do. And then all my memory keeping, I've now caught up on all the spreads that I needed to make. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, and yeah, let me know which spread was your favourite in the comments, and I'll hopefully see you guys in the next one.